Welcome to the Home Healthcare Today show. It is Black History Month. And as you all know, when it comes to the Home Healthcare Today show, we tackle all types of topics that are relevant to one's health outcomes. We have the honor of having a living legend on our show today as we dive into not only a health topic such as sickle cell, but we like to look at some of the social justice, some of the infrastructure, and even economic impact as related to health. Michigan House of Representative Tyrone Carter is our special guest for this Black History Month episode. Rep. Carter has dedicated over 40 years to public service in Detroit. A 25-year veteran of the Wayne County Sheriff's Office who rose to executive lieutenant. He was elected to the Michigan House of Representatives in 2018 and now serves his fourth term representing District 1. As chair of the Detroit Caucus, Rep. Carter has delivered over $1 billion in state investments to Detroit and secured historic firsts, including the Clean Slate Act of 2021 and Michigan's first ever funding for sickle cell research. He is married to Lisa Carter, close to 40 years of marriage, who is Detroit Police Commissioner for District 6. Representative Tyrone Carter, welcome to our show.
Well, thank you for having me today. It is an honor and a privilege, and to be called a living legend or history, that's a first for me. So I'll take it.
All right, Tyrone, man. Well-deserved and well-earned, my friend. Hey, y'all. Now, as we think about Rep. Carter here, from the city, a product of our environment, born in River Rouge, raised on the southwest side of Detroit, graduated from Southwestern High School. There it is. And you spent your entire life, man, in this here community working hard for the people. What is it about Detroit that has kept you committed to our city for well over, 60 years?
It's the people.
Yes, sir.
It's the people. So I actually live in the house in the neighborhood I grew up in. E-Course, River Rouge, and Southwest Detroit 48217 is where I represent. Mm-hmm. That's home to me. Those are the people that shaped me and molded me and made me who I am. I'm old enough now to recognize what a wonderful upbringing and childhood I had. We had everything we needed back then, whether it was because of segregation or the jobs that people moved up, the steel companies, the automotive companies, any of the suppliers.
Sir.
But I had a great quality of life, and it is the love of those people that uphold me, that just keep me doing it. So watching the community, I know where it was. I know where it is. So I wake up every day trying to make it better than it was. We'll never make it what it was.
Yes, sir.
But we can always make it better than it is.
I get it.
And that's
man.
the goal.
And we love it. We love you and appreciate you for that commitment. The badge and the battle. You spent over 25 years with the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, rising to deputy to executive lieutenant. As a union steward, early in your career, you fought for equal pay.
Yes.
And better working conditions, and you won. What did those early battles teach you about leadership and fighting for what's right?
So you have to have a common interest with your coworkers. So I hired in 1984. I was making $6.99 an hour.
Yeah.
They had just built a new facility. So went to the union meeting, and I found out the people that were already there were making double what we were doing for the same job.
Yes, sir.
So I approached the union president. I say, hey, hold up. This is really unfair. We're doing the same job. He said, well, when we negotiated the contract, we negotiated for the people who were here, meaning you weren't here. So I said, okay. So how do I strategize for us to get there? So as they built new facilities, they added more of us $6.99 folk. So then I ran for union steward.
Yeah.
And once we had the numbers,
come on,
progress is a process.
Yes, it is.
See, folks want it overnight. No,
Yep.
I had to wait until we got the numbers. So what that taught me was strategy.
Yes.
and you have to be ready when that opportunity presents itself.
Gotta be ready.
The moment we had more 699 folk than we had other folks, then we sat down at the negotiation table.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Rep Carter, man, I thoroughly appreciate that, because not only did you, fight on behalf of others, you realize that I need to prepare for those that are coming behind me.
100%.
That part, right? FBI National Academy. Talk to us about that. You're a graduate of the FBI National Academy. This is one of the most prestigious law enforcement leadership programs in the world. How did that experience shape your approach to the community and public safety?
It was really eye-opening, because
Yeah.
sometimes we get so caught up in our own little cubicle.
Yep.
Detroit, Wayne County, state of Michigan.
Mm.
But less than 1% of law enforcement professionals go to the FBI Academy. It's at Quantico, Virginia.
Yeah.
It's where they train the agents.
Mm-hmm.
So we're there on that campus for 10 weeks. So you're away from your family 10 weeks.
Absolutely.
But the beauty is people from all over the world come there.
Come on.
So I met guys from Uzbekistan. They had just left the Soviet Union, Germany, Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
Egypt, Canada,
Yeah.
and even the United States, every city. So when you sit down and have conversations, you think something is really exclusive to your community,
Yeah.
but it's
Yep.
not.
That's right.
So it's eye-opening, and then it makes you seek other solutions for some of the problems. So we probably have more in common than we don't. We just got to figure out that middle ground.
See, that's it. That's it, Rep Carter. And you got range, man. So when we talk about FBI national level, then we talk about Wayne County Sheriff's Office, and then Wayne County Community College, right? Like right down the street from where our I Care for Detroit clinic is. There's the Northwest campus
Okay.
right there at Southfield and Outer Drive. Talk to us about campuses, man, because we got students and first responder challenges and issues, making life safe for the community.
So you have to look at folks want to feel safe. We live in a world now where people don't feel safe.
Yes.
So the most visible arm of any organization is its security force.
True.
And people respond to you how you look. Now, you can look at Otis from Martin and how people would respond to him, or you could look at a state trooper.
Yep.
And how they're just polished, they look a certain way.
Yes, sir.
People respond to you the way you're dressed.
Yes, they do.
So when I got there, the uniforms were antiquated, outdated, and they contracted with the sheriff's department.
Yeah.
So they really weren't a full police force. Yeah. So what I said, well, let's go to some other community colleges and see what they're doing. Okay, Mott Community College up in Flint is full MCOs police certified. We went down to Cuyahoga Community College, which is Cleveland.
Yeah.
Which is pretty much similar to Wayne County Community College. Across the street from housing projects, they have different campuses. So try to get the folks at Wayne County Community College to understand that safety is number one. When you talk about folks, safety is number one.
That's right.
So we changed everything about it. We've got the blue call boxes, we've MCO certified, and it changes the atmosphere for folks. You feel safer. That's not your concern, because you're there to learn to make your life better.
Absolutely.
But you shouldn't have to look over your shoulder or worry about if you come to the parking lot, your car is going to be gone.
That's right.
So we were able to change that through technology, through policies and procedures, and I think now it's a premier organization.
Oh man, no doubt, it certainly is, and we recruit. Students from the college, and appreciate what you said about the presentation. Of hey, you are preparing for a future. There's faculty and staff that are at that college. Hey, let's make sure everybody in the community
and
is
they
safe.
may not know who the campus president is.
Nope.
But they will know who security is.
Yes, they will. Absolutely, sir. Yes, sir. Rep Carter, you're a community champion that goes without saying. For over a decade, you led the original United Citizens of Southwest Detroit during Detroit's bankruptcy, like back in 2013.
Oh, yeah.
You fought for your neighbors when your community recreation center was closed. Man, you fought to reopen it and, once again, succeeded. That's the theme for Rep Carter, y'all, living legend. What does grassroots advocacy mean to you? Like grassroots?
Grassroots.
Boots on the ground.
The people closest to the issues and the problems need to be heard.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen in a lot of spaces. You have other folks coming in and talking on your behalf. They don't share your pain. I live it every day. So during the bankruptcy, people forget that they had closed a bunch of recreation centers. That was the only recreation center in Ecorse Rouge. Southwest, it's in 48217.
Yes.
But that was our central meeting place as kids.
Come on.
So
Come on.
you got to think about what's wrong with kids. What's wrong with kids? If they don't have anywhere to go, they'll find somewhere to go.
Yeah, they will.
So they closed it, said there was $2 million gap. So I tried to look around and see who is a neighbor.
Yes.
Marathon Oil Refinery had just gotten a tax break to do some expansion. So I went to the plant manager. I said, I need to find out how you can help my kids.
Come on.
And he talked about the money that they gave the city of Detroit for emergency response and preparedness, for a science center and something. I said, no. What are you doing for your neighbors?
That part.
See,
come on.
Host community, 48217. He said, well, what do you need? I said, my kids need and deserve a rec center. He said, where you short? I say, we 2 million short.
Come on.
He said, let's do it.
Let's do it. Wow.
I mean, that's the end story. It took a whole lot of pushing and pulling.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's Kimony Recreation Center. And it is a central repository for activity.
Love it.
For kids to seniors. Seniors are up there dancing. They have hustle. It's almost brought me to tears when I walked in because it didn't look this good when I was a kid. We got a lot of ballers come out of Southwest Detroit.
No doubt.
Antoine Jobert, Anderson Hunt, Leslie Rocky Moore, Bill Jones.
Yes, sir.
But everybody forgets about CC Powers. Plays in the WNBA.
Come on now.
All-time leading scorer at Michigan State.
Yes.
She was hooping up there.
Come on now. That's what's up. That's what's up. And as we tie that to healthcare, the physical, venues, kids could play, they could learn to swim. Some of the fondest memories come from those rec
100%.
centers, man. And then to your point, the seniors, bringing the seniors in, man, to get the ballroom going and dance and yoga, those constructs mitigate the social determinants of health.
100%.
Because it's about the solution. Prior to a commercial, one more loaded question for you.
Sure.
Preparing the next generation, mentoring. Through AmeriCorps at Wayne State, you've mentored dozens of young men each summer in a city where too many young people face limited opportunities. What do you hope and what do you instill in these young men every summer?
I try to be an example and say, hey, look, nothing special about me.
Sure.
I'm from this neighborhood.
Yep.
You're from wherever you come. Your upbringing doesn't determine your outcomes.
That's right.
Okay, you got to think bigger picture. And so what we did at AmeriCorps, and I got to send a huge shout out to Robert Thornton. He was at Skillman.
Yeah.
He put the money up. We had 40 black males, ages 17 to 24. No disrespect. I didn't want anybody from Cass, King, or Renaissance. I wanted guys from Osborne, Cody, Southeastern. They had 1 foot on the curb and 1 in the streets.
Yep.
And be able to show them that, you control your destiny by your decisions.
Yep.
And so with that, I can say right now, man, there's a couple guys that work for DTE making over a couple $100,000 a year. They started as showing them opportunities and possibilities and just being an example of what can happen.
Absolutely. Hey. All right, y'all. Black History Month, headed to a commercial. We'll be right back with Representative Tyrone Carter. We went from podcast to broadcast. The Home Healthcare Today show is back. I'm your host, Dr. Cleamon Moorer. The show is sponsored by Meridian Health Plan in Michigan. Stay tuned. Never in the history of healthcare delivery has an organization offered such complete care to Detroiters. Your eye care experience may begin in our state-of-the-art eye clinic, but it doesn't stop there. We can come to you. Delivering vision and home health care is the hallmark of the Eye Care for Detroit and American Advantage partnership. Helping you to feel better and see clearly is the perfect putt. Call Eye Care for Detroit today. Representative Tyrone Carter here on the Home Healthcare Today show. He is inspiring us, influencing, and engaging our listeners of the podcast and the viewers of the WMYD TV 20 broadcast out there, as well as our YouTube channel. Shout out to our sponsor, Meridian Health Plan. Meridian is the sponsor of the Home Healthcare Today show. Care above all else. Now let's tie back into this Black History Month episode. Rep. Tyrone Carter, let's focus on legislating for health and justice. You went from law enforcement to lawmaker. Let's talk about that transition from enforcing the laws to writing bills and writing them. After decades of public service, What motivated you to run for the Michigan House of Representatives?
So again, I live in the neighborhood and the community that I grew up in. Once I retired, I was able to look and see what was happening, what wasn't happening, what was happening in other areas.
Yes.
And representation matters. You have to know the people that you represent.
Absolutely.
We had 30 years of somebody representing that community that didn't live in my community.
Gotcha.
Or they moved in.
Yep.
And they were a part of it, and they're making decisions for people they don't even know. So back then, the terms were 6 years. Well, when they came to term limits.
Yeah.
So I watched this, and I ran a couple times and lost, and I called that research and development.
My brother.
But when you get to that point where you're frustrated, anger is a useless emotion.
Totally.
Figure out a strategy on how you're going to make it better. So that's what motivated me, because you can't represent what you don't know. Having worked in the courtrooms all those years, watching folks being represented and sent down on places, taking these pleas when they hadn't done anything,
Come on, man.
living in a community that the air quality was horrible, but folks were addressing it with cliches and no real action, because they got to go home or someplace else at night.
Absolutely. Yep. So they were disconnected, to say the least. Speaking of running, going back and forth, second chances.
Yes.
Third chances. The Clean Slate Act. And let's talk about that. You co-sponsored the Clean Slate Act of 2021, one of the most expansive criminal record expungement laws in our nation. Potentially, hundreds of thousands of Michiganders can now clear their records and can access employment, housing, and opportunities that they otherwise could not have accessed before. Why was that legislation so important to you?
Again, living in the neighborhood, there are guys that I grew up with that were caught up. Whatever, they had paid their debt to society.
Sure.
But when you come out, the opportunities don't exist anymore.
Right.
So if you had a felony, certain places wouldn't rent to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you had a felony, certain places wouldn't hire you.
Yeah.
So it started with ban the box.
Yeah.
So it slowly trickled down to the clean slate. So when it first went into effect,
Yes, sir,
you had to pay to get it out. We put funding in there so that it was free later on. And I think at last count, last year I looked at where maybe 15,000 Detroiters had benefited from this. Right. So that gives you access to things that you otherwise would have been a closed door.
Totally.
And you talked about it, government assistance, student loans, things that we take for granted if you've paid your debt. Plus, the underlying thing is we've had so many people that have just been run over by the system. They may have taken a plea for something they didn't do.
Facts.
We've seen more exonerations in the Black community.
Yes.
So I think this was a step toward that recalibration of the criminal justice system.
Absolutely, for sure, man. And when I think about the reconciliation part, now that cannabis is quote unquote legal, a lot of folks did a lot of time, for certain amounts, certain gram counts of marijuana. But hey, man, that is a straight path forward for so many people. Now, unfortunately, we do still have sickle cell. Sickle cell, that's a challenge within the Black community, Black populations. You made history, man. Once again, sickle cell funding. Let's talk about that one, Tyrone. You secured the first ever state funding for sickle cell research in Michigan's history. Nearly 2,800 Michiganders live with this disease, and 75% affect newborns are born right here in Metro Detroit. What drove your passion for this particular cause, and what does this funding mean for families dealing and living with sickle cell?
So politics is a team sport.
Yes.
Let me start there.
Okay.
A former colleague of mine, Ronnie Peterson out of Washtenaw, this was his baby, sickle cell. So you go in with the intent that you're going to champion a cause, but it's a team sport.
Yes.
So Ronnie was, he got it through where we talked about it, but there was no funding. We were able to get the funding. And why this is personal for me, one of my school classmates, Rodney Ferguson, God rest his soul, was a cameraman for Fox 2.
Wow.
Had sickle cell when we were a kid. He passed away. Saw his brother this summer at the Delray picnic. Didn't know that he had 3 brothers that had sickle cell. He was the only one that didn't have it. All of them have passed. So this has impacted my community.
Certainly.
So, if we can get some funding for something that has always been, a Black disease, quote unquote, it impacts us more. for us to get the research dollars
Yep.
is a game changer
Yep.
and a lifesaver for a lot of people.
Absolutely. So, man, it's a thing with you, Rep. You take pain. You get passionate about not only your own purpose, but standing in the gap and helping others, man. You know, looking at widespread problems and bringing forth solutions. Economics plays a part in solutions. And when we talked, prior to the cameras rolling, we talked about wealth and economics and how wealth is distributed and how it's created. $1 billion for Detroit. That's on your resume too, man. As chair of the Detroit Caucus, you helped deliver over $1 billion in state appropriations to the city of Detroit. Investments in public safety, education, housing, and infrastructure. How do you ensure that these dollars actually reach the neighborhoods that we know and love, the neighborhoods that we are from, that need it the most?
Now, that is the challenge.
It is,
to be
man.
honest with you, because once we get the money and we give it to groups, organizations, even a city,
Yes.
it's up to them to do it, to give it back. So I think about the $90 million literacy that we sent to DPS.
Yes.
They came with a plan for literacy coaches. Couldn't be used for anything else.
Yes.
So when I think about the money for the Charles H. Wright, I think about money for right to counsel,
Come on.
Sidewalks. We had a list from the city. We'd sit down and say, okay, where do you need this money?
Yeah.
What are you going to do with this money?
Yes.
And it's almost like, I hate to use the analogy, but when my kids were younger, they say, okay, Dad, I'm going to go to Cedar Point. You give them $50. They go to Cedar Point, but they don't spend their money. But when they come back home, you ask, where's your money? It's like, that was mine the moment you gave it to me.
Totally. Right.
So we've looked at some of these contracts to have clawbacks. If you don't meet these metrics, you have to give the money back.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, it's taxpayer dollars.
It is,
it's not my money.
Nope.
It's your money.
That's right.
So there needs to be an expectation that you're going to do what you said you were going to do.
Come on.
And if you don't, there needs to be consequences.
Absolutely.
And that we've worked at a few. There's a housing project. I want to send a shout out to the guy. If you want to go by there, it's at Jefferson and Van Dyke. Genesco, modular housing.
Yes.
He has a clawback provision that if he doesn't do this, then we get the money back.
Wonderful. There it is. There it is. So it's that accountability that
100%.
ensures that it trickles down, man, and that alignment with what the community needs, what the people need. Wonderful, man. Tying it back to health and home. Your legislative work spans public safety. So, okay, your career has been a portfolio career. Let's just
never looked at it that way.
Yeah, it's a portfolio, man. Because
I just get up and do the work.
No, man. As you know, we think about even the younger generation of viewers out there, man. A lot of times, folks think that a career path is just linear. I start here and I do it multiple years and I'll end up CEO. Not necessarily the case. I believe that we have to do the work that's in front of us. And if you had a question about what you should do, just do the next good thing that's in front of you to do. And that's what you've done, man. Your legislative work in that portfolio career has spanned public safety, criminal justice, and even health equity. For our viewers who may be receiving a home health or somebody that's caring for an aging loved one at home, how does your work in Lansing connect to their daily lives?
So Local 502, SEIU, Service Employees International. I used to be a union steward. So SEIU represents home health care workers. I think in the budget, we were able to get them raises and the ability to collective bargain.
Come on.
Because sometimes, if folks don't pay you and that may be your only job, what are your recourse with them?
That's right.
So we've been able to do those things when we had the majority. And I have to send a huge shout out to Speaker Joe Tate, the first black speaker. Now that's history. First black speaker in the history.
Absolutely.
And for me being the chair of the Detroit Caucus at the time, we were able to do some things that people thought were unimaginable. It'll never happen.
Sure.
So we were able to change some lives, help some organizations that have been doing the work in the community on a shoestring. So we did that. We were able to do that. And we can only do so much.
Yes, sir. Yep.
But we did what we could.
That's it, man. That's what I'm talking about. As we wrap up this episode, Rep Carter, I said living legend, y'all, to start off the episode. And now in your fifth or sixth decade of life, right? you're still adding to your impressive resume and the advocacy for others. The legacy that you're building. Black History Month is all about honoring those who came before us and inspiring those who will come after us. When you think about the legacy that you've built and the legacy that you continue to add on to for your family, for our community, for Detroit, for the state of Michigan, and better yet, an example for our nation and our world, what do you hope people will remember about Mr. Tyrone Carter?
That he put in the work. Change lives.
Oh, man.
For the better. You know, I think about my hero
Yeah.
was Jackie Robinson.
Come on now.
Long before
Come on
lunch counter sit-ins,
Yeah,
long
yeah.
before civil rights movement.
Yep.
If Jackie, and it was dubbed the Great Experiment.
Yes, sir.
If Jackie Robinson had failed,
Yes, sir.
he had to have the right temperament. He couldn't get mad. You could,
Yep.
I mean, you can't be that angry black person when you've got a whole generation looking at you to be that guy.
That's right.
And he died young.
Yes, he did.
He didn't make it to 50.
Come on now.
But what is his legacy?
That's right.
He put
right.
in the work.
Amen.
So I guess my legacy would be that you can be an ordinary person, and if you work hard, you can do some extraordinary things.
Yes, sir.
And there's this quote that I love and I live by. It's Albert Pine. What we do for ourselves dies with us.
Yes.
What we do for others and the world will live on.
Absolutely.
I hope some of the things that I've done will live on.
Amen. Certainly it will. Certainly it will, Rep. Carter. I'll be remiss if we don't give that shout out and your legacy to your beautiful wife, Lisa Carter, right? And as for your family, your parents, right? How does the impact of your beautiful wife and parents extend and carry that legacy of Tyrone Carter?
Oh man, just family, you know.
Yeah.
All this doesn't matter
Yeah.
if
Real
you're
talk.
not taking care of the people you love.
For sure.
Period.
My brother.
You know, you could go out here and do these wonderful things,
Yeah.
and your house is falling apart.
Yep.
You've got to find the balance.
Yeah.
It's hard sometimes because
Absolutely.
this morning I get a call. My wife goes, "It's tough being responsible." I say, "Yeah, didn't ask for it, but somebody got to do it."
Absolutely.
So embrace it.
Rep. Thank you, brother. Thank you for all that you do and continue to do. All right, folks, I'm Dr. Cleamon Moorer, host of the Home Healthcare Today show. Tune in next week as we dive into National Cancer Prevention as a topic, because we're still in that month of National Cancer Prevention Month. Tyrone, thanks for everything, bro.
Oh, thank you for having me.
We're bringing a new show called the Home Healthcare Today Show, hosted by Dr. Cleamon Moorer and sponsored by Meridian Health Plan in Michigan. On a weekly basis, we bring in Michigan's top health experts to dive into a variety of health and wellness topics. Content ranging from how do I manage a health complication or an issue? How do I live a healthier lifestyle? Tune in every Saturday morning, 10 a.m.
You know, everybody's opportunity to think about what can I do. Just walking every day is
Yes.
probably the simplest and best exercise that people can do.